My volunteer work was with a United Way, and we formed a community impact fund to go into the when I had that memory about it. We rode the school bus with a little brother and sister, and they would come running out of this dilapidated home somewhat, and we're in tattered clothing, but they always had smiles on their faces. And these memories that kept coming back, and they always had smiles on their faces. But I remember how they were treated when they got to school. Ooh, germs, don't want to be around them. Our school class picture, I'll never forget. The little girl was in my class, and her brother was in a class ahead of me. And I'll never forget our class picture in the gymnasium at Hillcrest Elementary School in El Dorado. She was sitting on the front row, and the guy sitting beside her was like this. And that picture had been embedded in me all my life, and I remembered that. And I just woke up in the middle of the night and said, I want to raise a few dollars, and I want to go back to that elementary school where my memory had occurred, and I want to be able to provide 5 or 6 children a year with a complete brand new wardrobe that otherwise wouldn't have, but 3 or 4 pair of jeans, 3 or 4 shirts, socks, underwear, shoes, coat, whatever they needed. So that very first year, 23 years ago, I raised $1,500. I had a United Way of Saline County Junior Golf Day for underprivileged children. And I didn't really promote it, didn't really ask for donations. I raised $1,500 that day because I brought the children in the clubhouse at Shawnee Hills Country Club in Harrisburg, and I told them why they were there, that their participation was going to help us do this. And so I had parents come up to me and say, Dale, I didn't know this is what you're here's another $20. I'll never forget, I had a guy write me a check for $250 to the United Way Clothes for Kids. And I just thought, okay. So I went back to the elementary school, and I met with the teachers privately when they were in a workshop. And I said, I've raised this $1,500. You're the ones that know the kids. I told my story. And about how sweet these little brother and sister were, about how they were treated. And a couple of days later, a teacher calls me, and she said, Dale, I got to tell you a story about the little girl. Similar scenario. Sweetest little girl, but unfortunately they're from a poor family. And said, can we help this little girl? I said, absolutely. So, and I remember it's like it was yesterday. We went shopping for the little girl. The teacher took the clothes and got it to the little girl, however she deemed fit. A couple of days after that, the teacher calls me. She said, Dale, I got to tell you about the little girl. Came running into my classroom, came running up to my desk and said, teacher, look at my new shoes, look at my new clothes. So guess what that did to that teacher? She couldn't wait to get into the lunchroom and talk about the difference of confidence and self-esteem within this little girl by having these new clothes, that she could now walk into school side by side with some of the most privileged. Fast forward 23 years, 2024, we provided complete brand new wardrobes to over 900 children. And I think that we just reached our 20th county in Southern Illinois.
Wow.
And it's only because, and we have no administrative fees. We're just volunteers out doing what we do.